Welcome along. We begin our roundup of Week 15 at the Matmut Atlantique, where Bordeaux became the first team this season to take points off leaders Paris Saint-Germain in Ligue and Conforama. Well, the capital club forged ahead on 34 minutes through Neymar. Dani Alves getting an assist in his first start this season. But the Girondins hit back early in the second half through Jimmy Briand. Had his first goal since mid-September after a nice dummy there from Younes Sankharé. Kylian Mbappé restored PSG's lead on 66 minutes, going back to the top of the scoring charts with his 12th of the campaign. But Bordeaux got their equaliser when Andreas Cornelius climbed above Thiago Silva to head in late in the day. PSG dropping their first point of the campaign, but they are still the autumn champions. Montpellier are back up to second after striking twice in the closing stages to stun Monaco. The Principality club were on course for a first home win of the season thanks to this Yuri Tillemans effort shortly before half-time. But after a savvy tactical switch from Michel Desakarian, Montpellier equalised on 81 minutes. Gaëtan Laborde heading in Andy Delors' cross. The duo now have 14 of their side's 24 league goals this season. And 5 minutes later, Peter Skeletic out-muscled Jemerson to get the winner. This is his first top-flight goal. 2-1, the 2017 champions stay second bottom. Well, Lille and Lyon are third and fourth respectively after they played out a thoroughly entertaining draw at the Stade Pierre-Mauroy. Lille forward Loic Remy opening the scoring on 17 minutes against his boyhood side. This is his first Ligue and Conforama goal in over 6 years. Well, Remy was also involved in the second, driving forward on the counter-attack and teeing up Nicolas Pepe for his 9th of the campaign. He also has 5 assists to go with them. Lyon, though, a different prospect after the break. Memphis Depay making up for missing a penalty as he set up Bertrand Traoré for 2-1 with this little bit of magic. It's number 5 for the Burkina Faso international. Great technique here from Depay, who would go on to hit the bar a few minutes later. But Lyon did manage to rescue a point as Moussa Dembélé swept in his 4th of the season late on. 2-2 after one of the best games of the season so far. Marseille failed to make the most of that draw as they were held at home to Reims. Edouard Mendy is now up to 9 clean sheets in 15 outings after keeping the Marseille frontmen quiet at the Velodrome. Rudy Garcia's side failing to bounce back from their 4-0 defeat to Eintracht Frankfurt in midweek. Well, Reims could even have snuck it at the death with Sheyi Ojo going close, but the final score was 0-0. Saint-Etienne are up to 6th after they produced a late surge to get the better of Nantes. Robert BERIC came off the bench to give them the lead on 72 minutes with his first league goal since April. Wahbi KHAZRI then doubled their advantage with this sensational free kick. Sante is a top scorer, up to 7 for the campaign. He won't hit too many better than that one. Timothée KOLODZIEJCZAK then rounded things out late on, 3-0, and Les Verts remain unbeaten at home. Nice's 5-game winning streak in all competitions came to an end as they were held by bottom side Guingamp. The host had the game's best chances, Walter Benitez at first denying Marcus Thuram. The Argentine then showed great reflexes to keep out Sheikh Traoré at the death. Guingamp are still waiting for their first home win since April the 21st, this one also finishing 0-0. Strasbourg picked up their first away win since the opening day in emphatic fashion at Rennes, although it was the host who took the lead on 9 minutes thanks to this magnificent strike from Ismaïla Sarr. A 5th of the season for the Senegal winger and very similar to the one that he scored against Angers back on week 2. Strasbourg, though, were level on 20 minutes. Kenny Lala getting away down the right-hand side and teeing up Adrien Thomasson for his 2nd of the season. The visitors were then awarded a penalty as Pablo Martinez took a boot to the face. The left-back having to be patched up, and the referee awarding a spot kick after consulting with the VAR. Confidently dispatched by captain Jonas Martin. Strasbourg then got a second penalty early in the second half. Lebo Matiba was tripped by Edson Mexer. And Martin doubling up to move on to 3 goals for the season. It was even time for Martinez to get his own back on the Rennes defence with a late 4th. 4-1 it finished and Strasbourg were up to 8th. Nîmes grabbed their first home win since week 2 as they eased past Amiens at the Stade de Costières. Denis Bouanga sweeping in the opener on the stroke of half-time, adding to his goal in the League Cup win over Saint-Etienne in midweek. Bouanga then turned provider for the second after a neat chip from Jordan Ferry. Substitute Rashid Alioui with his second of the season. And the third wasn't long in coming. The Morocco international teed up by fellow substitute Umut Bozok for 3-0. Nîmes are up into the top half of the table. Angers took the lead at home to Caen 5 minutes into the second half. Abdoulaye Bamba crossing in for Pierrick Capel to head home his third of the season. But Caen, who haven't won since late September, managed to rescue a point through Claudio Beauvu. His first goal here in 2.5 months. 1-1, the final score. Well, Toulouse made a nightmare start at home to Dijon as their goalkeeper Baptiste Rennais was sent off after just 5 minutes against his former club, taking out Julio Tavares after an undercooked back pass from Kelvin Amiens. Well, Dijon made their extra man count midway through the first half. Naïm Sliti with the cross into the area, and Naïf Aguerd eventually volleying home. The goal had to be validated by the VAR. There were, however, no doubts about the second goal. Sliti involved again after a lovely long ball from Westy Said. Mehdi Abed making it 2-0. But 10-man Toulouse showed great resilience as they fought back for a draw. Max-Alain putting it back to 2-1 with one of the goals of the season. How about that for a finish? A fantastic bicycle kick from the home captain. And just 5 minutes later, it was he who teed up Aaron Leia Iseka for the equaliser. 2-2 the final score then, but both sides are without a win in over 3 months. To all of the results from week 15, with 28 goals scored, there were no fewer than 6 draws, as well as home wins for Saint-Etienne and Nîmes, and away wins for Montpellier and Strasbourg. PSG can no longer finish the season with 114 points then, but they're still 14 clear of Montpellier at the top, and they're autumn champions with 4 games to spare. There are 3 points now separating 5 clubs in the battle for the podium, while Nîmes are up into the top half. Guingamp remain rooted to the foot of the table, with Monaco just ahead of them. 3 clubs, Caen, Dijon and Amiens, all locked on 13 points. Bordeaux may have drawn with PSG, but they're still 11th and without a win in 6 games. There's a slate of midweek fixtures to come starting on Tuesday as Monaco head to Amiens, Nice host Angers and Montpellier entertain Lille in another top-of-the-table clash. The rest are in action on Wednesday with PSG rounding out week 16 in Strasbourg.